Chapter 1: The Spark of Rebellion. The usually calm hum of the Galactic Council chambers was broken by a violent disturbance. On the holoscreen aboard the bridge of the Indomitable, Captain Logan Carter watched, helpless, as a young child, no older than 10, was dragged before the Council's Athorian executioner. The child's arms were bound, and his face, streaked with tears, twisted in fear and confusion. With one sharp, brutal motion, the executioner raised his weapon, and the child's small form crumpled, his life snuffed out like a candle in the wind. The feed remained frozen, capturing the tragic moment as the child's body collapsed to the cold floor, a pool of blood spreading across the tiles. A stunned silence gripped the crew of the Indomitable, save for the harsh buzz of the feed cutting out. Logan's fists clenched at his sides, his knuckles turning white, and his jaw was set so tight that it seemed like it might crack. His gaze never left the frozen image of the child's death. "Let this be a lesson to your primitive species," sneered Counselor Xanth, his words full of disdain. "Humanity's disobedience will no longer be tolerated." Logan's voice, low and tinged with fury, barely escaped his lips. "They killed a child." Commander Hawkins, standing just behind him, could see the seething anger behind Logan's calm exterior. He gripped the railing tightly, his hands trembling as the weight of the situation settled in. "What are your orders, sir?" Logan's cold eyes met Hawkins for a split second, and in that moment, the determination in his expression left no room for doubt. "Signal the fleet. Prepare the Nova cannons." Plot and FTL jumped to the Galactic Council's headquarters. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for years, the moment when the true face of the Council would be revealed. Earth had never been considered an equal power, always subjugated, always oppressed by the aliens that held the reins of the galaxy. Now, the time for diplomacy was over. The Council had drawn a line in the sand, and humanity would not stand down. Chapter 2: The Hidden Fleet. Far beneath the surface of Earth, hidden in the remote Rocky Mountains, was humanity's greatest secret, the Sigma Fleet. Built in absolute secrecy, these ships were the product of decades of research and innovation, designed to be humanity's last line of defense and their weapon against those who would seek to destroy them. Logan led his senior officers down dark, narrow corridors, their footsteps echoing eerily in the silence. The air grew colder as they approached an enormous blast door. A biometric scanner beeped as Logan placed his hand on it, and after a tense moment, the door slowly slid open. The room beyond was vast, more immense than any of them had ever imagined. The hangar was a hidden marvel of engineering, stretching far beyond what they could see. Rows of sleek, angular warships stood at attention, their hulls gleaming in the low light like predators waiting to strike. Each ship was constructed from an iridescent, alien material that seemed to shift colors as they moved, a substance that defied earthly science. These ships were not just war machines, they were symbols of humanity's resolve. Logan stood before them, his voice steady, carrying the weight of history. "Gentlemen, welcome to the Sigma Fleet." Built in secret during the early days of human space exploration, hidden away for a day like this. Commander Hawkins, awestruck, stepped forward and placed his hand against the hull of one of the ships. "I thought the Sigma Fleet was just a myth." "It's very real," Logan said with grim determination. "And today, we show the galaxy what humanity is capable of when pushed too far." The officers exchanged looks of disbelief, but also of conviction. The Council's time was over. The reckoning had arrived. Chapter 3: The Council's Arrogance. Back at the heart of the Galactic Council, Counselor Xanth reclined in his luxurious chair, savoring the fruits of his power. He swirled a goblet of glowing liquid in his hand, smiling smugly as the festivities around him continued. The thought of the human threat, an insignificant species to him, had become little more than a distant memory. That was, until his aide, YK, appeared in a flurry of panic on the holoscreen. "Counselor, our long-range sensors have detected a fleet of unknown vessels entering our system. They're moving at incredibly high speeds, and they've already disabled one of our patrols." Xanth waved dismissively. "Send a fleet to intercept them. It's probably just another minor race trying to make a name for itself." But YIK's voice, full of anxiety, betrayed a different story. "The patrol was destroyed the moment they entered weapons range, Counselor. We couldn't even get a visual on the enemy." A chill ran down Xanth's spine. His demeanor shifted from boredom to worry as he scrambled to a nearby control panel. The star map flickered on the screen, revealing hundreds of ships, all closing in on the heart of the Aorn homeworld, the center of the Galactic Council's power. "What kind of weapons do they have?" Xanth demanded, his voice tight with dread. YIK's response was more terrifying than anything the Ithorian had ever imagined. "The ships, they're unlike anything we've encountered. Their hulls are iridescent, almost otherworldly, and their weapons tear through our defenses like paper. Worse still, they bear the symbol of humanity." Xanth's face went pale, his heart sinking. Humanity had returned, and they weren't here to negotiate. They were here to take back what had been stolen. Chapter 4, The Battle Begins. As the fleet neared the Council's homeworld, Logan stood at the bridge of the Indomitable, his eyes cold, calculating. His crew watched in silence as the massive ships emerged from FTL travel, poised for the destruction that was to come. The alien forces had no idea what was about to hit them. "Signal the fleet," Logan commanded, his voice steady. "Weapons hot. Prepare for battle. Make them regret the day they decided to underestimate humanity." Within moments, the battle had begun. The Sigma fleet moved with surgical precision, their ships gliding through the enemy ranks with deadly grace. The Council's forces, though powerful, were no match for the advanced technology of humanity's finest creations. Plasma bolts and missiles streaked across the void, tearing through alien hulls, reducing massive warships to burning debris in seconds. On Xanth's flagship, chaos reigned. "This can't be happening," he shouted, his voice rising in panic. "They have weapons, no, ships, beyond our comprehension." Logan's voice crackled through the comms, cutting through the noise of battle. "Yield, Counselor. You have no hope of winning this war. Your fleets are shattered. Surrender now, or face total annihilation." Xanth, his face a mask of defiance and fear, shouted back. "The Council will never submit to you, human. You're just one species. You can't defeat us all." Chapter 5, The Fall of Xanth. The battle raged on, but it was clear to everyone watching that the Council's arrogance was their undoing. The once mighty fleets of the Aorn were shattered, their ships drifting helplessly in space as Logan's forces pressed forward, relentless. Xanth watched helplessly as his empire crumbled. Logan's cold voice echoed through the calms once again. "We've given you a choice, Counselor. You could have surrendered with dignity. But now, you will witness the end of your reign." Xanth slumped in his seat, defeated. His once proud fleet lay in ruins, and the Council's control of the galaxy was slipping through his fingers. "You have no future," Logan continued. "The age of the Council's dominance is over. This galaxy belongs to those who are willing to fight for it, and humanity will not be silenced again." Chapter 6, The Road Ahead. As the remnants of the Council's fleet fled, the crew of the Indomitable gathered on the bridge, weary but resolute. Logan turned to them, his gaze somber yet filled with unwavering determination. "This victory is just the beginning," he said, his voice strong. "The Council will strike back. They will try to regain their power, and we'll be ready for them. But we have proven something today, we've shown the galaxy that humanity will never kneel to oppression again." The crew nodded in agreement, their faces set with resolve. The battle may have been won, but the war was far from over. "We'll make our own destiny," Logan declared, his voice ringing with conviction. "And anyone who stands in our way will fall." Chapter 7, A New Future. As the Sigma fleet sailed away from the remains of the Council's forces, Logan turned his eyes toward a new horizon. The Corax Nebula, once a powerful warrior culture now under the Council's control, could be humanity's first true ally in their fight for the galaxy's future. "We'll make them an offer they can't refuse," Logan said, his tone resolute. "Together, we'll tear down the Council's stranglehold on the galaxy." Humanity's future had been secured, but the road ahead was long and uncertain. What was clear, however, was that humanity was no longer a subjugated species. They had tasted victory, and they would not stop until their place among the stars was secured. Ready for more? Like, subscribe, and let's keep exploring the unknown together.